Hey everybody, it's me, Undead Viking. I want to talk to you about this game. It is called Ghostel. In Ghostel, each player will be taking on the role of a ghost that lives in the attic of an old rickety hotel. You can kind of see it right back here. And you don't like these, basically these humans that are coming to stay in rooms in your hotel. So each night you're going to be going and thumping around in their rooms and showing them their deepest, darkest fears in the hopes that they will flee the hotel. When they flee the hotel, whoever did the best job at making the guest flee will earn the most points for doing so. But if you helped, you also earn a few points as well. After you have basically emptied out the hotel and no more guests are willing to come and stay, the game is over, and then you'll see who is the best at being a spooky ghost within the Ghostel. It is a very whimsical game. Yes, it is a game about being a spooky ghost, but you can kind of tell the artwork is kind of funny, and there is some little jokes within the cards as well. I mean, there's like a Velma card and a Scooby card, and and the Ghostbusters make an appearance and things like that. Now, I mean, not really. I mean, it isn't like an exact picture, but the names are the same, so you kind of know who they are. It is a game that does take, like I said, a kind of a whimsical tone to it, but it is a very challenging game, and I've had a lot of fun playing it with my family, with my daughter and my wife, because of the fact that it has a fairly simple set of mechanisms, but it is a very challenging game in trying to make sure that you get your ghost to the right spot. So let me show you how the game is played. We'll come back here and I'll tell you more about why I like Ghostel. Alright, let's learn how to play Ghostel. So I've gone ahead and set this game up. I'm going to play it with 4 players. This game does handle 2, 3, or 4. So the whole point of this game is that you are a ghost and you're going to be moving around in this hotel where these people are staying, and you're going to be trying to scare them into leaving the hotel. And you do that by moving your ghost from spot to spot, and as you go there you'll be leaving dice behind you. Now each one of these people that is staying in the hotel, like Egon here, you can see Egon, you know who that is. Anyway, so this number that's down here in the green, that is the total value of dice that have to be placed on this particular guest before they will then flee the hotel. These numbers over here, 22, 14, and 8, that is the points that you will get for making this person flee. Whoever puts the most value of dice on will get 22, the next by 14, and the next 8. Even though if you're playing 4 players, the 4th player, even if all 4 players put dice on here, you still get some. You don't get shut out if you're the 4th person. You'd still get the 3rd place value as well. If 2 people should score for the total amount, so with this 18, maybe 2 people put 8, and then 1 person put 3. The 2 people who put 8 would get the top value, and then the other person would get the 3rd place value. So you don't split the points up or anything like that. You just both score the same amount. This little symbol up here on the top right, it's just a special power that the guest has that affects the way the game is played, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. Some guests, like here, Bevan, you'll notice has this little marking of a snake. Now that is a phobia, and so if you have a card, and I'll show you the phobia cards here in a little bit, those little cards over there, if you have a phobia that matches Bevan, you can play that, and then you can put a die on there, and then that die will be doubled because of the fact that you're scaring him with snakes, and he's really scared of snakes, so you can kind of double the amount that's on there by using that particular tactic. So the way the game begins, each person was going to start off, they get 1 scare tactics card and 1 spooky favors card. So scare tactics are these phobias. You can see there's these 2 little phobia cards. Here are clowns, always scary, and I think the darkness, because there's a candle that went out. And then so if you have, here Gino, as I said, is scared of the dark. So if you played a die on him and used this card, you could double that die for Gino. The spooky, these cards, the spooky favors, Spooky Street, just change one of your terror dice to 6. It's just like a lot of games, you use games to like, they can like break the game in some way. So each person gets one of each of these. They keep them secret. They don't tell anybody what they are. And then each person's going to take 3 dice and they're going to roll them. In later turns, you might get access to more dice. You get that by using the terror bonus cards. Terror bonus cards give you extra terror dice, or they let you take one of your dice and upgrade it to a D8. There are lots of these upgraded D8 cards. If you manage to get more than one of the upgraded D8, it's just considered to be another +1 terror dice. So if you get a few of those, you might end up getting like you're rolling 4 or 5 dice or more. But even though you might roll a bunch of dice, you're just going to take the top 3 dice. So anyway, each person's going to take 3 dice and they're going to roll them like so. And so they have a 6, 6, and 2. And then on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to take this cute little ghost figurine that you have, and you're going to, like, on your turn, depending on turn order, you're going to go ahead and place it on one of the people on the hotel. And so you have a situation. So maybe you're just going to go right to Gino. Bam. You know, so like you have that card that you can play that's going to scare him. So like then you could play, you know, this like spooky dark card. You can show that to everybody, and then you can just go ahead and discard that. And then you take one of these phobia tokens, like so, and you take your die. Let's just, for the sake, just to make this more tactical or strategic, let's say we rolled a 3, if you will. And so then you'd put that on there like so, and put it over the phobia to show that the card is played, so that we know that that 3 is then a 6. And so then each other person would do that as well, and I'm just going to kind of just put these out here just so you can kind of see how this works. So let's, like so, and finally, bam, and just grab a die here. So then after you've done that, then you go back to the first person, and now you get to move your ghost into another spot. You can't move diagonally, but you get to move your ghost into another spot in the hotel. So you could go like here, and then you could drop a die like so. Now you can, if you can move back to the one that you were already at on your next turn and drop another die. In cases like when you're trying to get to Egon, like that's one of those things where it's like you might be contributing 2 dice. So like, but let's say, you know, we went to Egon and we dropped the 6, and just so we can see, maybe went here like that, and then down here. And I'm not really, like, no rhyme or reason here. I just want to make sure you understand how the game looks, if you will, once you get to that certain point. And let's go here. And here. Like so. Alright, so after everybody's moved their ghosts around, and I actually broke the rules here, and I apologize for that. Peter up here has this power right here, and it says that once a ghost is on the location, they can't leave. But just bear with me, I'm just trying to show you how the game works. But so actually, let's just say maybe the ghost went from here to here to here, like that, you know, so he ends up here, and then, you know, so we went the opposite way. But regardless, so after all is said and done, you're going to look at each one of the people and see if they're scared out, and in each case you'll score the spot. So Tony needed a 6 total scare, would scare him out, so we were 6, so white would get 8 points for that. And so you're just going to go and you're going to do everyone. So Gino, this is doubled, remember, so it goes up to 6, so we're going to take that. Red, go there. Shobun has a 4, and it has a 4, so black is going to get 8 points, like so. And then when these get scared, you return the dice, like so. And then you take the dice, take the cards of the people that, you know, have left the hotel, and you put them in the discard spot, right over here. And then we have an 11, that's not going to be enough to get rid of Egon, so we'll come back to there. Bevan has a total of 8, so in this case, red is going to get 8 points for doing that. So we're going to put them, 8 plus 6 is 14 last time I checked, and 4 goes to white, so white would get 4, go to 12, take that one off. Anthony we'll get rid of, and then that's worth 8 points for white. And let's see, 6 is not enough to get rid of Peter up here. 4 is not enough to get rid of Alicia, but these two combined for 3 each, total of 6, are enough to get rid of Eric. And because they both put a 3 on there, they're both going to get 8 points. So blue finally gets on the board with 8, and black gets another 8, like so. And we're going to leave those dice on there, like that. And we're going to remove these and pull them off. So now we have these people that are left on the board. So because they didn't get scared away, and we take the ghosts off as well because it's daytime, so they go hide in the attic, and they're going to wait and see what happens. So because it's during the day, they get less scared, because of the fact that, it's like, oh, there's no ghosts, and, swirling around saying, woo, and the rules actually say when the ghosts leave and they go back to the attic, you should make the noise of, woo, they go back to the attic. Anyway, so what you're going to do is you're going to reduce each die by 1. So in this case, this 4 would then become a 3, if I can find the 3 on the die, like so. This 6 will become a 5, and normally Egon would have the same thing happen, but Egon has a special ability on here, and you might not be able to see that, special ability on the side here, where the dice go up a pip instead of down a pip. Now, if you had a situation where you had 1, let's say over here on Alicia, there was a 1 on that location. If it reduces, you just take the die off completely. In this case, the 6 stays a 6, and then this 5 will increase to 6, like so. To begin the next turn, what you will do is you will go ahead and fill up the spots that are open. The game ends when you're unable to fill up the hotel after it's all said and done. So once this deck runs out, that's going to signify the end of the game. And now people can turn in their points. They can spend their actually points that they want to buy more of these cards to use them for whatever purpose. And so you can you can't buy multiple of each card, but you can if you want to buy one of each if you so desire. And so these have this costs 3, this costs 2, and these costs 3. And so then each person makes up their mind if they want to actually spend the points that they've scored in order to do that. And then they just go on to the next round. And they do the exact same thing again. You try to scare the certain people off the board, and then you do the next turn, and so on and so forth, until, as I said, you've run out of guests and the hotel is not emptied, because there might still be some on the board, but you can't refill the rooms of the hotel with new guests. Whoever at that point has the most points will therefore be the scariest ghost and will win the game of Ghostel. It is a very fantastic game. My family has loved this. My daughter especially. She definitely likes making the scary woo noises as her ghost flies around. And yes, it's on the lighter side, but I love the theme. I love the idea behind it. And like I said, this is a game that my family's had a lot of fun playing. And I like the fact that it is teaching some of those basic mechanisms that they're going to my daughter will inevitably expand to, I think, when we start playing heavier games in the future. So let me tell you more about what I like about Ghostel in my conclusion, which I'll do right now. Alright, so there you go. That's how you play Ghostel. It isn't a super tough game to learn. Like I said, the rule set is kind of on the lighter side, and I would phrase this as kind of a lighter game. And even, if I want to bring up the gateway game tag, I definitely can see that. This has a very, very like I said, a straightforward set of rules. You're going to be rolling the dice, and then basically after you roll the dice, you're going to see where you're going to want to put your ghost down, and then basically plot the best possible path from spot to spot, and basically putting the dice down in order to earn certain points. I think the game is at its best when there are more players, just because of the fact that then you're bumping heads and you're running into people. And also the best part about the game, in my opinion, is actually buying these cards, and getting these special abilities and what have you with the spooky favors. Because then, and all of the cards are important and helpful, but the spooky favors cards, in my opinion, are the best parts. They actually, as lots of games, you have cards that basically bend or break the rules, so, there's dice, there's ones that let you re-roll any of your dice, there's one that makes, like a scare tactic for every single type of phobia, so you don't have to worry about getting the perfect one. You can actually, and I didn't show you these, but there's some tokens that are called ghost barriers, and that allow you to actually put up barriers that will prevent other people. Here the actual words is place a ghostly barrier token on a guest your ghost is currently on. No other ghosts may move onto this guest. Move any other ghost from this guest to any adjacent guest, your choice, following the rules for ghost movement. So you can kind of claim somebody and prevent somebody else from scoring points on that if you want to be the one that gets that. So there's stuff like that that allow you to, like I said, like not only bend the rules, but also kind of mess with other people as well. And I think that is a very important part of the game, and it adds a lot to it. This is a game, a lighter puzzle game, if you will. It's like figuring out taking your dice that you rolled and using them to the best of your ability. You're going to have situations where you're going to roll poorly, but then it is up to you to make sure that you get your dice at least onto somebody else, and that's why going last is very important, because you can see where other people have gone, and you can kind of piggyback upon their choices, and then actually earn points that way, and remain in contention, even if you get poor rolls. The very first turn of the game, you actually do roll dice to see who goes first, and so whoever rolls the most goes first. And going first, might be helpful as far as maybe claiming some of territory right away, but this is a game that rewards going last. And after the first turn, the turn order does go whoever is in last place goes first, and then so on and so forth, up the chain, if you will. Last place, I should say, person in last place goes last. I apologize, I misspoke. So, so if you're in first place, it's kind of a little bit of a catch-up mechanic, but it isn't, too debilitating for the person that's in first place. So, I really like the art. I like the fact that my daughter likes pretending to be a ghost when we play. And I like the fact that this is definitely a game that I can get to my table and I can play with my family. And, I can kind of turn my mind off and just kind of enjoy being with my daughter and my wife. And, I have played with my gaming group as well. And this is definitely because of the fact that we're used to a heavier, more constricting game. This is definitely a game where you don't really have to pay attention much to what's going on. And it is a very community game. It's like discussing, talking, and it doesn't last a certain long time. If it was a little bit smaller as far as the box size goes, I would bring this with me to my work and play it over on my work shift. But in this case, it is a perfect game for playing before you play the big game, or playing, you get done playing the big game and you're still jonesing for one last game as you kind of wind down for the night. Perfect game for that process as well. So, there you go. That is Ghostel. If you have any questions about it, please post those. I'll happily answer those to the best of my ability. I, as always, appreciate you very much for taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, I am the Undead Viking, and I'm telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. Alright, bye-bye.